great day, Attractive Thinker. Dr. Toni Hatton here, CEO and founder at theattractivethinker.guru, where we support you with mental healing, mental strength, and mindset maintenance. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Break. Give yourself a fighting chance. Welcome my co-host, Tashette Bradshaw, the visual encourager.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Mindset Monday, where we got a chance to do what we never did before, go where we never gone. It's a great day to be alive.
Yes, it is a great day to be alive. I want you to write that down in your Attractive Thinker notebook. It is a great day to be alive. You hear us say that all of the time, but I want you to think about it. Today, we're going to be talking about how to talk your way out of it, Attractive Thinker. How to talk your way out of it. The things that you say matter. They have power attached to them. And I know you may have heard this before, that your words have power, or you may hear people say, be careful what you say, or today you're going to hear something new, a different perspective of it. Talk your way out of it. How do you do that? Because your words have power, because your words are active, they do things. I want you to think about that. My words do things. My words come out of my mouth, and they go out into the atmosphere and they do things. But when we say talk your way out of it, I want you to understand this for a moment. There's the things that you desire, the answers that you're looking for, they're inside of you. And if you're going to get them out of you, you have to talk them out. So when we speak, we're speaking from the heart. We're speaking out of things that are inside of us. We're speaking from a place. So where are those words coming from? I want you to think about that. So if the solution is inside of you, if you truly believe that the answer is already inside of you, in your talking, you can talk up an answer to your own question. And here's the trick. Here's the key. A lot of times when we connect, you have to find someone to connect with, to have that talking conversation with, that is on the same wavelength as you. That means they have something in them, you have something in you, and together, when you come together, you begin to talk and share and express. All of a sudden, something comes out. Something fantastic and amazing comes out, and you run and get your Attractive Thinker notebook and you write it down. You capture it. Because if you believe that all of your treasure is inside of you, how do you unlock that? How do you get it out? How many times okay, let me give you an example. How many times have you set a goal? You made a decision that this is what you're going to do. And in the same conversation, you talked yourself into it and talked yourself out of it. In the same sentence, in the same conversation. So if that's a possibility, that you can talk yourself into something and you can talk yourself out of something, you can talk something up that you need. You don't have to go outside of you for your answers. You can talk them up. If you're coming together with another person who has the capacity to lift you up out of where you are and launch you forward. Tashette, talk to us a little bit about the power of talking yourself out of something. Talk your way out of it.
Your language for where you want to be makes all the difference in the world. If you are saying to yourself and saying to another words that doesn't match what you want, you're doing yourself a disservice. It is so important that when you are going or desiring to elevate to a certain level, that the first thing you do is change your language. Words do have power, and sometimes we seem to take those things for granted. We take for granted that words actually shape things, but you forget that the words that you speak is what's coming out of your heart. As a man thinketh, so is he, and it goes down into your heart. Out of your heart speaks. Out of the heart you will speak. So what you're speaking is in your heart that is lined up with your beliefs, because we're not saying things we don't believe. This is why I tend to be a person that if I said it, I mean it. Because if it's in my heart, it was what I meant, and I said it out of my mouth. So when we are speaking things, we are also rehearing the things that we're believing. So if I say out of my mouth, I am powerful, I am deserving, I'm also hearing myself say it. But if I'm connected to somebody who has similar language, because they are like-minded, they will also hear, we are powerful, we are deserving. I can speak life into them. They can speak life into me. You talked about, Dr. Toni, having two people come together who are like-minded individuals, who have a language of the next level of success or whatever you desire in your life, and how important it is to be in alignment and in agreement with this type of people, because you can't conversate with everybody. Lollygagging and all that stuff, it has its place. But there's some people that when it's time for you to give birth to something, there's some people you align yourself with to have that conversation where your mind and then her mind comes together and form a third mind. So when you come together and and you got your power and their power, and it ignites this big old flame, you know, even if one of you might not be feeling like you're in power, but you know you're fuel. If that other person ignite near you, you're going to blow up. You're going to blow the whole thing up, and it becomes this great explosion of success. You know, so it's important to be in alignment with and in conversation with people who you know got your back, people who you trust their opinion, people who you know will take that seed and do something with it, nurture it, help it grow, water that seed. You don't want to keep taking all of your good seed and plant it into ground that is not beneficial, that is not going to help it. You know, different conversation has its place in your life. You have different friends for different situations. You know, you have your friends that you can kiki about and talk about, you know, situations, food and parents and this, that, and the other. You have other people that you can talk about things in the spirit. You have other people that you discuss business. You know where people's place is in your life. But when you're going to the next level, it is key to understand who you're talking to, because everything ain't for everybody. And then also, what are you saying to yourself? What are you replanting in yourself? Because if you think it here that I'm not worthy, and it goes down to here that I'm not worthy, and it speaks out of your mouth that I'm not worthy, where do you think it's going to go back? To here. And you're going to just keep recycling the same negativity over and over again. So we have a challenge for you guys that we want you to join us on, for all of those groundbreakers, trailblazers, and pathfinders who's ready to live the next level of success. We are challenging you this week to join us on our 7-day challenge. It is starting a 7-day, but we hoping that you'll enjoy the 7-day challenge so much that it becomes a lifestyle. The 7-day challenge is we're going to talk our way out of this level and into the next. So what that means is when you speak, you are being intentional with what you speak. You're being intentional with what you're saying to yourself, which means you're intentional with what you think. You are monitoring yourself. You're becoming aware. You're becoming more aware of how you think, how you feel, and what you say, because we know that all that matters. So what you say out of your mouth should be next level speaking, next level language. The person you desire to be, let's say a person you desire to be a year from now, 5 years from now, wherever your goals is, the person you desire to be, you're speaking as if you are already her or him. You're speaking the language they would say in that state. If you are, for instance, if you are a person and you are expecting to be financially abundant, there's some language that financially abundant people is not going to speak. They're not going to speak lack. If you're a person that wants to be healed, you're not a person that's going to speak the language of the sick. You're going to speak healing and continue to speak the language of healing so that you can hear yourself, so that you can put it in your atmosphere, language of healing, words of healing. And like I said in one of the previous episodes when I was reading one of the books, he said that whatever you say will go forward in your future and pull you through that process. You want to be pulled into the process of healing. I think it was Simon Bailey that said that. You want to be pulled through a process that you actually desire. So for these 7 days, you're speaking the language of the future you, the successful you, the higher you. You're speaking the higher language. You're careful. So here's the thing. What is the consequence of not speaking it? We got some consequences. So if you find that you're a person who's constantly bringing up the old things, who's constantly living in the past, reliving the pain over and over again. You're a person that say, oh, my mother never did, and my mother gave me, and my sister and my brother and my father gave me, and my teachers never said I wasn't, and they said I couldn't do, and my friends didn't support, and this, and you got all these lists of things of people who spoke the language of can't. Successful people are not speaking the language of can't. They're speaking will. I will, I will, I will, no matter what, I will. Even if I can't do it the regular way, I'm going to do it the other way. I will, I will, I will. So we are, the intentions is to get that can't out of your mindset, out of your subconscious, and be in a practice of speaking will. So we're not, if you have to speak things of your past, let it be one or two things. Be the lesson or the blessing. So if you have to say, I remember, you're saying, I remember as a lesson because you're talking to somebody now. Every word you speak to somebody and to yourself is a seed. Whether you understand it, aware of it or not, every word you speak is a seed. So when you're talking to a person and you're speaking the seed and you're going to say, remember, you saying it's a lesson or a blessing. We have to get out of the habit of keep telling people our old problem, because when we keep telling people our whole problems, what do you think you're recreating? You're putting that back into your mindset, which means you're going to think that, you're going to feel that, in your heart, you're going to speak that, you're going to create that, and you're going to have consequences that mirror that, such as what you had when you had those issues. So next level thinking, next level language, for 7 days. If you find yourself going back and it's not a lesson or a blessing, boom. Speaking, you got to do 20 push-ups. If you can't do push-ups, you got to find something 20 that pushes you out of your norm. You got to maybe run, or if you can't do running, you got to find something that will cause you to push something that's not the most favorable thing. Because, you know, some people, if you like push-ups, there are some people who like push-ups. If you like push-ups, you got to find something else, maybe another pound of weight, something you got to do that will help you build some type of muscle, because while we're building mental muscle, and when we let go of building that mental muscle, you got to build that physical muscle. So out of your mouth, that's 20 push-ups or 20 things that stretch you. In your thought, when you're alone at night by yourself, and you are thinking things that are negative, you're holding on to seeds that were planted. Now you got to do 10 to 15 of something that stretches you and push. Even if you have to go old school in the, you know how old school, when we was in class, we say, I will not say these things. If you can't do anything, you got to write that out. You got to take a whole page and write out, I will not think negative. I will not. You got to do something.
Yeah.
You know, we get to choose. So the point is, we're building our mental muscle for the next level, and we're letting go of the things that passed away. Those things are not serving us. We're getting out of the habit of talking that negative self-talk, and also taking that same negative talk and planting that seed into the people we are running with, the people we call our partners in power, the people who are listening to us. We're getting out of that habit of planting that seed so that they don't have that mindset as well. So we hope you will join us on this 7-day challenge, and hope it will become a lifestyle for you and we'll enjoy it. Back to you, Dr. Toni.
Absolutely. I am up for the challenge. I am up for the challenge. I told you, Tishette, if you see me come back on this episode of Beyond the Break and I look like Hulk Hogan, you know I've been battling with some negative thoughts that I had to do them 20 push-ups.
Yes.
My mental muscle strong. So I'm up for the challenge. I'm always up for going inside, you know, that internal activity. I'm curious. I've always wanted to know, how we can better ourselves. The thing that intrigued me the most is when I kept hearing people say, we only use 10% of our brain. I was like, well, I'm going to figure out how to use that other 90% of my brain, because if God gave it to us, I want to use it. He didn't give it to us for nothing, for it to just sit there and we just walk around settling for 10%. I want to know how to use the other 90%. So now we're going inward, like Tashet said, attractive thinker. We're going inward. And every time you begin to pursue that goal and you hear that negative thought come up, like you said, or the past, every time, and here's the thing, you can't stop things from coming to your mind, but you can limit how long you dwell on them. You can stop them from lingering around. And like, for example, you find yourself daydreaming and you find you were doing one thing and your mind went somewhere else, and it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour has passed, and you were way back in your past reliving something that happened years ago. So now you got to do 20 push-ups. So we're talking about stuff like that. We're talking about not thoughts that just pop up and you know what to do about them. I'm not thinking that. I'm not thinking that today. Nope, we're not going down that path today. We're not talking about thoughts like that. We're talking about the ones that you find yourself going in that direction, or you start thinking about it and then you start feeling bad. 20 push-ups. 20 push-ups, right? So that's
Yes.
7-day challenge, because we want to train our minds, we want to train our bodies and train our behavior to always expect the best, to look for the best, to not go back in the past unless you're going back there to get a lesson learned or to remember the blessing, to share the blessing with someone. So think about what Tisha said, only the lesson or the blessing. Anything else, it has to stay in the past. We close the door to it because it's not beneficial to us. It's only going to make us feel sad or feel bad or rob us of our present joy. So think about that. But there's something that came to my mind, Tisha, while you were talking, the phrase talk your way out of it. We all want to get out of the thing or get out of something, but talking your way into something. So when we talk about talking your way into something, if you're going to come out of something, you're not just coming out of something to be in limbo and just be out. You're coming out to come into. Think about
Yes.
that, attractive thinker. So how do you talk your way out of something and talk your way into something? Words. Your word, do you know your words actually have the ability to pierce the next level, to break into the next level? Words can do that. Words penetrate. Words are sharp. Words have an impact. I want you to think about this for a moment. If you say something to yourself and then you think about how you feel, how did those words sit with you? How did those words resonate with you? Words resonate, words vibrate, and each letter has its own energy, and the way you shift or shape the letter, the way you position the letters in words, you can take 5 letters and create, I don't know how many different words out of it, and each word has a different impact. Each word makes you feel a certain way. Think about that, just 5 letters. You can take those same 5 letters and create words that lift you up and give you joy. And then you can switch those 5 letters around and you say those words and they bring sadness and a heaviness or a low vibrational energy. So I want you to think about that. Just like you can talk your way out of something, you can talk your way into the next level, like Tashet said. This challenge is about you strengthening your mental muscle for the next level. We can't reach the next level with an old level mentality, an old level conversation, an old level language. Words that are from the old level won't even fit on the new level. You get to the next level and you start running up there talking about this and that and the other. They're going to look at you like, where did you come from? I mean, and here's the deal. Think about if you go to another country and you start speaking English, you're automatically going to tell on yourself. They're going to know where you're from. They're going to automatically know you're not from here just by what you're saying. And if they recognize the language, they'll be able to tell where you came from. That's how powerful words are. So if that's the case, why not use your words and talk yourself into the next level of your life? Your words, attractive thinker. This is what we want to say to you today. You may not have all of the resources that you think you need to get to the next level. And the number one resource that we all think we need when we're trying to make a move or go to the next level is money. You may not have the money. You may not have the friends or the support that you think you need. You may not have the resources or the transportation you think you need or the outfit that you need for the next event. You may not have whatever it is that you think you need, but you have words. You have words, and you can talk your way into the next level. Your words are sharp. They will move you into the next level. They'll window their way. They'll ease their way through the cracks of the next level and make room for you to get through there just by your words, your consistent words, your constant words, the words that you believe. See, your words are coming with a belief. Your belief, let your belief ride in on your words. Your words come with something. They come with your intent. See, there's a difference in saying words and then saying words with power, with impact, with intention, with expectation, with seriousness, with passion and drive, with determination. I can say, you know what? I'm gonna accomplish this goal today. The next time, I'm gonna make sure I reach that goal. Did that move you when you heard me say that? Did you feel like I was serious? Or when I say, you know what? I guarantee you the next time around, I'm going to accomplish that. I said it with passion and seriousness and determination, and you felt it. You were like, she gonna get it this time. She gonna make it happen this time. I want you to think about not just your words, but how you say them. What is the substance of your words? Is it coming with your intent? Is it coming with determination? Is it coming with passion and seriousness? Are they believable? Do you believe them? Because if you don't believe them, nobody else will. Your words can break through, break you into a whole new world, a whole new way of being. Talk your way into it. Like Tasha said, okay, what is that goal that you have? And what is the language that aligns with that goal? And then you start through repetition. You write down the language of that goal. Let's say your goal is to get a new vehicle. For whatever reason, you want a new vehicle. You can't keep talking about how broke down the other one is or how dissatisfied. It may not even be broke down. It may be in great condition, but you're not satisfied with it any longer. You can't keep walking around talking about, you know what, I don't even like that car like that no more. Or I wish I had this and that and the other. Or that car doesn't make me feel a certain way. Or every time I look at that car, I feel something. I'm dissatisfied. Well, talking about it is not going to help you get to the next level. It's not going to help you get a new one. But talking about that car in such a way that you talk your way out of that car and into your new car, that's a whole nother language. And you can adopt that language, attractive thinker. Sometimes you don't need to know what to say. You just need to know you can't say that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. Back to you, Tasha.
Yes. One of the things that I don't think we take into account is that our words are identification. It's how we identify emotions, how we identify what's going on, how we label a situation. Our words and the tone determines it identifies in our mind what's going on. So when someone is feeling a certain way, if you might want something, you might say, bring me this pillow. You are identifying that with those words that you desire that pillow to whoever you're talking to. When you're speaking stuff to yourself, if you say, I am powerful, you are identifying yourself as powerful through the tool of words. The words are power. And I say we feel the effect of words, the most powerful effect of words when it is accepted. That is when words take the most effect when it is accepted. Can people say things and they plant, seeds that will sprout up later? Yes, if you accept it, if you're not intentional, if you're not careful or aware of yourself, you'll accept anything from anybody. This is also another reason why when someone says something to you, you consider the source, you consider where it came from. Did it come from a tone of hurt, hate? Did it come from a tone of love? Trying to help? because we can take constructive criticism through the form of words, and it can help us in our business. We might say, somebody might say, well, what do you think about this product? And you say, it smells a little this way or smell a little that way. If you're doing like perfume or something, you might say it smells a little this way or that way in order to help out of love. But if it's like, and you're just hating, you have to consider, is those words spoken? Are they weeds, or is this a seed that I want to sprout up like a flower? Is this a rose seed that they just planted? Is this worth a harvest? So when we are speaking words, when you're going to the next level, one of the things you said, Dr. Toni, is you said when we go to that place and we start speaking, they're going to know that we don't speak English soon as we open our mouth. Out of your mouth, the heart speaks. That's what we have to remember. So are we asking you to fake it? We're saying, yeah, we'd rather you believe it and say it. But if you have to keep saying it until you believe it, then do so. So we want to get you in the habit of affirmations. Affirmations are so powerful. We like to start affirmations in the morning, start it off on our day so that we could, set our mindset up to know that we're powerful, not wait for anybody else to say it to us. And then we come with our power, and then we end up talking to somebody and planting that seed in them. They end up in their power planting that seed into us. It ends up this big harvest of seeds, seeds that is sprouted up from us saying our affirmations. So your language, really, you can tell a person's where they coming from based on their language. If a person is speaking and they are speaking in doubt, you can tell this is a person that's been disappointed over and over again, but this is a person that believes they are still being disappointed over and over again. Again, it goes back to, what do you believe? Do you believe that, okay, I asked for this stuff, the change won't give it to me? So you asking in that tone and in that belief, because that belief is going to really determine your outcome, whether you say it or not, because your words is coming from your belief. You had to think that. So when people say to you a certain thing, or they might say, you remember in high school, we would say, oh, she thinks she bad. Well, you had to think that, because I wasn't thinking that. So it had to come from somewhere. So what did it take for those words to be strong enough to come out of your mouth? Or do you just spew out anything? We got to get out of the habit of just spewing out anything and be intentional. We're trying to intentionally recreate the way we live our lives. We're not just doing things by happenstance and coincidence anymore. We're being intentional. We're playing chess, not checkers. We're not just spewing stuff out any old way and just, let's just see what results this get. It's going to get the same results as the last mindset you had. It's going to keep getting the same results over and over again, because you think it. When you think it, you feel it. When you feel it, it creates an emotion. Out of that emotion comes your words and a response. It creates an action. That action creates, the consistency of that action creates a habit. That habit creates an outcome, and that outcome creates your lifestyle. So when you look around, you are a product of your decisions, which stem from what you said you will accept and not accept, which comes from your belief, which 9 times out of 10 comes from what you've been saying or what you accepted that someone else said to you. So it is so important to make sure that that change has to start with you. How can you expect anybody to come to you and speak words to you that you won't even say to yourself? Love should start with you. Start with loving yourself. Start with saying, I love me. If nobody else loved me, I love me. Why would I expect somebody else to come and love me when I know me and I can't even love me? The words of love starts with you. It starts with what you say to yourself. And talking yourself out of stuff, talking yourself into your next level and out of your last level is a action of love, because it's telling you you deserve it. You deserve it. Now, talking yourself out of your blessing, that's not love. So you got to know what you're talking yourself out of. I'm talking myself out of this pit. I'm talking myself out of being stuck. I'm talking myself out of believing in lack. I'm talking myself into abundance, into healing, into love, and the peace and the joy. I'm talking myself into my harvest time. I'm talking myself into belief. We want to get in that habit so it creates a response, so it becomes consistent, so that we have that consequence, so that it becomes our lifestyle. Do you get the chain of it all? We want to start at the word, at the base, at the belief of it in your heart, because out of your heart, your mouth speaks.
That's good. That's good. Out of your heart, your mouth speaks. Attractive thinker, I hope you're getting this. This challenge is all about really tuning in to what's going on in you, because a lot of times the things that are going on inside of us are repelling the things that we say we desire. And until we really tune into them and pay attention to what's going on and align these things, make your thoughts align with your belief, make your belief and thoughts align with how you feel, make your feelings and beliefs and thoughts align with the actions that you take. Now everybody's moving all of this is moving in the right direction. All the parts of you are moving in the right direction. You're bound to accomplish the goal. But a lot of times, attractive thinker, the thought might be triggering a feeling that, like Touchette said, is of the past or pulling us back, and it's not pulling us back to get the lesson or the blessing. So that thought is triggering a feeling that doesn't make us feel so good. And then when you don't feel good, you take actions that align with that. And those actions end up being actions that are not going to help you reach that wonderful goal that you have. So there's some misalignment there. So you have to think about what you're thinking about in order to talk about what you want, in order to talk your way into the next level. You gotta pay attention to what you're saying. So you gotta pay attention to what gets your attention. What is your attention on? Is your attention to the right when you really want to go left? How does that look and how does that feel and how far are you going to get with that? I've never seen anybody driving looking to the right and expecting to go left. It's not going to work like that. So it's the same thing with your words. You got to steer your words in the right direction. You have to point your words in the right direction, because your words you're going to go in the direction of your words. That's the bottom line. You're going to go in the direction of your words. If you say you can't, then that's the direction you're going to go in. If you say you can, that's the direction you're going to go in. If you said, this is what I'm going to do, then that's what you're going to do. If you keep talking about what you can't do, then you won't ever do it. So your words are like a steering wheel. And I want you to use your steering wheel to steer you right into your goal and break you out of this level and into the next level. What is the next level? The level where you have acquired your goal, the level where you shed the old identity and take on a new identity so that you can live this new life that you designed for yourself. And we have to make a decision to just close that chapter. When Touchette talks about adopting a new language and allowing those words to launch you into the next level and strengthening that mental muscle, you have to close that chapter of your life. And again, the only way you go back there is to get the lesson or the blessing, to remind yourself of the lesson or the blessing, or when you're sharing your lessons and your blessings. Other than that, keep that door closed, because there's nothing there that will help you get to the next level in your life. Nothing there that will launch you forward. Nothing there that will trigger a good feeling. Because when we're on our journey and path to acquiring something in life, or accomplishing something, or growing through personal growth and development, we're going to experience some challenges and some not so favorable things. Some things we experience in life, we don't ever want to remember them anymore. We don't want to think about them anymore. We don't want to feel that anymore. So you got to be careful when you allow yourself to keep going back in the past and opening up that door, because there's a lot of things that you've encountered that are not favorable. You don't want to experience that anymore, and they can hinder you from getting to the next level of your life. So you only want to steer your focus. What you focus on the longest becomes the strongest in your life. I heard someone say that, and it really resonated with me, because I know that there's a power attached to your focus. What you focus on it has your attention, and it gets accomplished. Think about that. So when we talk about focusing your words and your thoughts and talking your way into the next level, I want you to also think about all the million different kinds of distractions that can pop up in the course of one single day. All the bells and whistles that can go off on your computer and your phone and your front door, your car, whatever, in one single day to shift your focus off of what it is you say you were going to do with your life, to shift your focus off of accomplishing and reaching that next level. This is real. Distractions are real. And they're not saying, well, let me just answer this phone. Oh, my phone went up. Well, let me just check on this email. Do you know that is costly? Do you know that is robbing you of your time? It's robbing you of the progress that you can be making to get to the next level. It's robbing you of your train of thought and your laser focus in which you can manifest something. Do you know whatever gets your attention has you? That bell that you heard on your phone, do you know how expensive that is? To shift your focus off of that thing that you desire to accomplish with your life, to respond to a bell and a whistle with somebody saying, peace out. You know how long it takes to open up your phone to respond to or just to look at somebody's comment with an emoji? You know how long that takes? And you might say, oh, it just takes a split second, a swipe here, a swipe there. Add those swipes up. Add how, my son, he's in college and he's doing college from home, virtually. And sometimes he turns his phone off so that he's not distracted by what's going on in everybody else's life. Somebody wanted to reach out to him. Here's a ping here, a ping there, a ding here, a ding there. Somebody's sending him something they saw on social media. Do you know how much time is attached to those kind of distractions? That can lead to 20 minutes off track. Before you know it, you spent 20 minutes responding to something that didn't even matter, or something that could have waited. That's how, I did I shared a message, I think it's on my YouTube channel. Procrastination is a subtle thief. It's actually on my website. You can download it from my website. Procrastination is a subtle thief. And it's also some work pages there where you can work through and spot the areas in your life where you're actually procrastinating and don't know why. So procrastination being a subtle thief, so are distractions. Distractions are a subtle thief. They are robbing you. They are weakening your focus. They are watering down your focus and your words being sharp. Scripture says the word of God is alive and active. It's sharper than a two-edged sword. I want you to think about that. Words are alive. Yes, so it's something that's alive, has an impact. It's doing something. It's impacting something. And your words sharp. In order to break out and break into, there's a breaking that has to take place, and there will be some rugged edges. When you break a pencil, the edges are not smooth. They are jagged edges. And those words that you say out of your mouth, they can actually pierce through into the next level if you know how to structure your words and you focus them and you harness that energy and you don't get distracted. Back to you, Tishette.
That is so true. One of the things you said is, do you know what has your attention has you? What has your attention? What has your focus has you? In other words, what we're focusing on talking about, we're focusing on that distraction. We actually are not covering it. It's covering us. It's holding on to us. So when you said that made me think that the things that we keep talking about over and over again, those distractions that is designed to keep us, from reaching the next level, those distractions, that's what they're there for, right? I just thought about where with distraction, where you're losing, it allows you to lose traction of where you're going forward when you're going forward. So I had too many thoughts at one time. My mind does that sometimes. But when you're focusing on those distractions and it's to get you from being on that next level, you're allowing yourself to be overtaken with those words, with that past, with those negative talk. You're allowing yourself to put on the clothing of the pain of your past. You're saying to yourself that it is okay. So say, like you said, he would pick up the phone, he would decide not to take that time to himself, not to assess yourself, talking about your son, not to assess himself, not to take that time out. And he decided to answer all those phones, and boom, you got somebody on the phone that you're talking to, an old home girl or boy or whatever. You got an old friend that's on the phone, and you're talking to them, and you have a habit of telling them all the things that happened with over the year. Well, you're telling them the good, and now you got to tell them the bad. You can't, you wouldn't believe this happened, and now you got to go over that whole story all over again and relive it. So when you're talking about stuff, your brain does not know that it's not going through that again. It's taking you through that process all over again. So every time you tell that same story, you're starting from, you got to see it in your mind in order to tell it, which means you got to think it's strong enough to speak it, right? And you're allowing it in your heart, because out of your heart, the mouth speaks. You're taking yourself through that story and going through that timeline all over again. Then by the time you finish that story, you mad. And now you got to tell them what you did to feel better, because you got to make yourself feel better, and you wonder why you drained. It had you. That story has you. That story is holding on to you. So in order to detach that story, you got to replace it with story of power. It can't be no room for it there. There's no room for negative self-talk and lacking and all that stuff. There's no room for downing yourself. There's no room for it. When you are so busy, you know why I wanted, one of the reasons why I stuck with being a visual encourager, or why I, that kept me going in the encouragement phase, because while I am in the business of encouraging you, I can't negative self-talk myself. I can't discourage and encourage at the same time. So I had to make a decision that I was going to encourage and enlighten and uplift people, you know, because as long as I'm doing that, there's no reason for discouragement. That's in opposition of where I said I wanted to do and go. That's in opposition of the goal I said I wanted to set for myself. You know, so when you make that firm decision of where you want to go, your language will sometimes have to lead you. Your language has to lead you, because your language is the identification of your beliefs. And out of your beliefs is where your decisions, your habits, and your consequences lay, because you are a product of your decision. So when you are allowing yourself to just react to any old thing, you allow anybody to come in with any kind of distraction. They just want to, you have certain people in your family and your friend life, and people that you let go a long time ago, think they can pick up the phone and call you, and all of a sudden they're speaking negative over you. They're telling you you can't. They're telling you why you're doing this, you're doing too much. They're telling you all this stuff. All of that is not purposeful. It's not helping you, you know, and you're saying, but this is my so-and-so and I love her. But if she loved you, she will understand the language you speak at this point. She will understand what seeds you need to get to that next level. She will be nurturing you, not tearing you down. Love will never tear you down. I don't care what nobody says. It will never tear you down. It will lift you up and encourage you and help give you hope, you know, and cause you to increase in your faith, not take away. You know, so when you are talking to people and you see that their energy, their tone change, and you know, you're feeling upbeat, you done spent all day doing the affirmations, you're feeling good, on fire, ready to go, and you talk to somebody and all of a sudden you feel your energy go, pay attention to that.
Yes. Pay
good attention to that, because that was the first sign that you got that said this conversation is about to go from here to here. and then make a decision. Make a decision. You do not have to feel that negative energy. You do not have to stay in that negative conversation. The good thing about it is you get to control that. You get to say, unless you are bound and locked up and, you know, hindered, and you want to stay there, then, you know, do that. But if you know that you are a free being, if you know you're a victor, you're going to win, you're a champion, then you know the language of stuck ain't going to work. The language of can't ain't going to work. So when you hear somebody speaking that, what is that benefit in you staying there? Make the decision and walk away. Make the decision and say, you know what, you don't have to be rude. You really don't. You can say, you know what, let me go. I have to, you know, you don't even have to make up nothing. Just say, you know what, well, let me let you go. I have something I need to take care of. Because you have to take care of you and your energy and your spirit. You have to care about how you feel. And the reason why I say that, because if you keep allowing people to speak anything over your life and that shuts you down, how can you bless the next person? How can you help the next person? How can you create? How can you do the work that God called you to do? How can you be your higher self? How can you make a mark in this earth? How can you make a difference if you are shut down because you allowed somebody to talk to you in a way that wasn't beneficial? How? So this has nothing to do with selfishness. This has everything to do with self-care. It has everything to do with knowing that you're worthy to be talked to like you're a human being and like you are cared for. But you have to care about you first. So it starts with the language. People can't get comfortable talking to you any old kind of way unless they see you talking to yourself that way. Because you're not going to say anything to me that you ain't seeing me say to myself. You can't be comfortable. You can't walk up into Michelle Obama, for instance, and just say anything to her. You would question it. You would think twice before you walked up to her and telling her sad sob story and telling her she can't. You would think twice. Unless you're a negative being, you would think twice. So how you see yourself matters. And how you see yourself is how you present yourself. And how you present yourself will teach people how to treat you. Govern yourself accordingly. Speak those positive words, those affirmations. Speak power into your life. Speak life into yourself and speak life into others. We have somewhere to go. We do not have time anymore to settle down into negative energy and negative talk. We don't have time for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Attractive thinkers, I trust that you have gathered some resources, some mental tools that you can use to start monitoring your language, monitoring your words, and redirecting your words to pierce through, to break into the next level, to break out of the level that you're at right now. And it doesn't mean that the level that you're at is a bad level or there's anything wrong with it. It just means that you're ready for the next level. We can use our words to pierce into the next level. And I want you to understand that with words, we build conversation. With words, we communicate. With words, it's a language that we use on a regular basis. So why not assess and monitor and restructure and organize and say, let me pay close attention to my words, because I know now that I've listened to this, watch this episode of Beyond the Break, Give Yourself a Fighting Chance, that my words have power. I now know that my words are like a steering wheel. I now know that I can use my words. See, it's one thing to randomly, haphazardly flap off at the mouth and say any and everything and join in any and every conversation. But it's another thing when you realize that your words have power. You're like, wait a minute, maybe in this little conversation here, I need to just not say anything. Let me reserve. That's a good one. Yeah, let me reserve my power. Maybe this conversation doesn't need my words or my input. Let me just reserve that for a moment. Or in other conversations or experiences, you feel the need. You say, well, let me use my power. Let me bring some clarity to this situation. Let me say something. See, you're going to use discernment and wisdom now that you know your words have power. Think about it. If you know that your words have power, you're not just going to be throwing your power out all day, every day, everywhere. You're very strategic with it now. You have a handle on it now. You say, okay, I'm going to use my power over here and I'm going to reserve my power over there. So think about that. You're going to learn and discover a lot about yourself during this 7-day challenge of paying attention to your thoughts and your words and how you feel and capturing those obstacles and challenges along the way, those contrary conversations that are designed strategically to keep you right where you are when your heart's desire is to move forward. I want you to visit our website, theattractivethinker.guru. I have 5 videos there. Place your information in the box on our homepage. There are 5 videos there. You're going to get 1 video each day in your email. So check your email after you place your information in the box. It's going to give you some clarity. Those videos are going to give you clarity. They're going to give you some action steps and really support you in moving forward and even support you in this 7-day challenge that we're talking about. Tasha, tell our audience how they can get more of the visual encourager.
Yes, you can find me on my website at www.visualencouragement.com. We provide mental support for people who desires to lift the heaviness so that they can create a new vision of themselves. You can go to my contact us page, put in your information, let me know how I can encourage you, uplift you, and enlighten you so that you can live a life of fulfillment. That's www.visualencouragement.com. Hope to see you soon.
Awesome. Attractive thinker, remember, our life's work is always to make your life better. Click like, click share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel because it's not what you're going through, it's how you're doing it. Think attractively, and we'll see you soon.